Hello, welcome. This is Roland. Today I want to make a little video about what it means to be born again. I just completed a series of videos about understanding our lower self or our lower nature. And I said in those videos in great detail a very basic thing, and that is that we're fallen creatures. We have a fallen nature. And it began in the Garden of Eden. See, you can see that the Garden of Eden story is true. Not because somebody said it or because you read it, but because you can actually see it in your own life and in the lives of people around you. And you can see the remnants of it. See, we're born with a fallen nature that we inherit from, which you inherit from your parents and grandparents and great-great-great-great-grandparents all the way back to Adam and Eve. Adam lived in paradise, and he had a paradisical state of being. He could have lived forever, perpetually renewed by his association with God, a rapport with God, a closeness to God, and living in God's light and with God's approval and God's love. He would have lived forever. That was the original intent. That was the original intent. But Adam defected. He was ambitious. He became a traitor, if you will. He went for the spoken word, which we all do, don't we? We're promised by education. Remember, it was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't they tell you that by education we can solve all of our problems with knowledge and with technology? And don't they tell us that with education, where you can become really big, become a big person, you can lord it over other people with your knowledge. So we go for it. See, we all do. But then later, you realize that it's not all it was cracked up to be. As a matter of fact, you lose something. See, in every sin, if you'll pardon the expression, but see, we sin by nature. We sin compulsively. Okay? Remember I said in a previous video, you didn't start off life wanting to mess everything up. You didn't start off life saying, hey, I want to become unhappy and depressed and anxious and nervous and eat the wrong kind of food and have health problems, see, and ruin my relationships and have a divorce and have all this stuff. You didn't want any of that. But it happened. Well, how did it happen? See, we sin compulsively. We sin by nature. By nature, we're prideful, gullible. See, we're the gullible chattel of the devil, actually. See, he was the shepherd who led us astray, the evil shepherd, okay, who led us astray. Just like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I'm sure you've heard that fairy tale. The people were led astray by the Pied Piper of Hamelin. They followed him. See, they were entranced with the music. Well, the evil shepherd, he said, hey, Adam, you can be a big man. You can be powerful. You can have all kinds of pleasure and excitement and success and awards and accolades, and people will look up to you and worship you and admire you. See, we all go for that in one form or another. See, we all want to be great and perfect and wonderful. We want to play God, basically, is what we want to do. And so as we start to play God, then we have conflict, which is proof that God exists. Go ahead and play God, which we do. We lord it over other people. We boss our kids around. We're impatient. We secretly judge people. See, God is both a king and a judge. He's a king, so he is deserving of worship. Okay? And he's also a judge. So you want worship. You want respect. You want admiration. You want people to think well of you. See? And if you get caught making a mistake or doing something dumb or foolish or tripping on your shoelace, or someone corrects your work, says you made a mistake, you take umbrage. See? You may hide it, but underneath you take umbrage because you think of yourself as really something. Now, of course, some people have low self-esteem, okay, but how does that come about? It's because part of them, part of them wants to be great. And that's why the whole world system continues. You look around and you see the whole world where there's injustice everywhere, violence, cruelty, thievery, wars, destruction, chaos, vandalism, see, and hate and anger. Yes, in the family, hate and anger. Mom hates her husband, resents him, judges him, and he resents her back. And the kids are hated and pushed around and abused or abandoned to the school system or pressured or parents live through their children. See? So everywhere you go, there's injustice and cruelty and violence, and it's everywhere. And you say, why does it keep going on? Because everyone has a little part of them that wants something from the system. See, they don't want the system to fall until they get theirs. They want theirs. See, they want to get their pleasure, their excitement. They want to get their awards, their pension, their perks. See, their promotion. They want their entertainment. So part of them wants the system to continue, and then they do unto others what was done to them. From the top to the bottom, we all know how there's tyranny at the top, and whole populations are lorded over. And see, like the Pharaoh had the Jewish people in slavery. Okay? But it happens at every level. So we're fallen creatures, but what I began to say is that we sin by nature. See, if you offer a kid, oh, here's a carrot, nice healthy carrot, and here's a piece of orange candy. Which one is he going to go for? He's going to go for the orange candy. See? When you get older and you're in high school or college, you see some nice young man or a nice young lady. But who does everyone go for? They go for the selfish, egotistical guy. He's intriguing to the ladies. See, the no good guy, the drug dealer, the prideful, arrogant one. See. That's who they go for. Or the naughty ladies. The boys go for the naughty ladies. And you say, why is that? They go for the naughty girls. Why don't they go for the nice? Why don't they want to be with the nice girls? Well, the naughty girls are exciting. See? So we go for the carrot. We go for the orange candy instead of the carrot. That's what we do. So we're gullible. And the advertisers that sell the makeup and the clothes and sell the video games and the cars and the food, see, they take advantage of that. So we're gullible, foolish, easily taken advantage of, and we're led by the evil shepherd. So everything is upside down. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Everything is upside down. The rottenest, the shallowest ones rise to the top. The honest plumber or craftsman, see, can barely make a living. But some silly person running around in little shorts with a ball and throwing a ball through a hoop, see, or catching a ball and running with a helmet on around on the field, It makes millions of dollars for something that's totally useless, totally worthless. See? So everything is backwards. So it's all injustice. So the fallen life is what we inherit. That's what you inherit. So it's not your fault. See, so that's good news. It's not your fault. But that's what you inherit. And there's an exchange. Oh yes, I began by saying that whenever we sin. So now do you say when I use the word sin, I'm not being judgmental. I'm saying when we sin, and I said we sin compulsively. So every time you go for the orange candy, so to speak, I'm just using that as an example instead of the carrot. See? Well, that's what we do, but compulsively. We can't help ourselves almost. You try to do the right thing, but the bad thing keeps calling you and beckoning you, and finally you give in to the bad thing. See? That's your lower nature. Now how is this? Well, I explained very thoroughly in a series of videos that I made about how in the animal kingdom, the animal is subject to the environment. And I talked about how there's a rapport between the animal and the environment. And the animal needs the environment. And the animal can only extract the minerals, the substance, what it needs from the environment to live. See? And there's a mysterious animal magnetism, too, between animals. There's a comfort. An animal has a certain comfort and a certain strength in its own territory. So, having fallen from the spiritual to the natural, see, from eternal life to a temporary life that leads to death, from perpetuation through regeneration to perpetuation through reproduction. I don't think I said it quite right, but the spiritual man or woman, as Adam had been before he fell, is renewed by God. God is his environment. See? God is his closest relative. God is his parent spirit. See? And he looks to God for everything. And if you know God, see, if someone is blessed to know God, to experience the touch of God, and in God's light to see and to realize. See, Christ once said, this is eternal life, that they know you. He was praying to the Father. He was talking to the Father. He said, this is eternal life, that they know you, the one true God, and that they know that you sent me. See? So blessed are you if you know that. See? Because in order to know that, you have to already be close enough that, see, you can only really know that if God lets you to know that, or makes you to know that, or in God's light you see it. See? And so if you're in God's light and you realize that basic thing, you realize it. So you see it clearly. Like one and one makes two. You know how you can see that 1 + 1 makes 2? You get it. See? And once you get that, nobody can take it away from you. You just see it. And if anybody comes along and says, no, 1 + 1 = 3, or no, see? Because you simply see it clearly. But if you see what Christ said, then you're going to see other things too. You're going to see how God made the world. You're going to see how he made the sun and the moon and the stars and the plants, and how he created things. He created enjoyments, and he created contentment, and he created joy. See? And he created all these wonderful things. He created love. That's right, he did. He created all these things. And so when you see all of that, and then you see the math. He created math. See? There was who was it? Was it Dirac, famous physicist? He talked about the Dirac sea. famous physicist. I can't remember his first name now, and I can't remember his exact words, but he said something like, God is a first-rate mathematician, something like that. And he meant it. See, he was acknowledging. See, but you know something? He was an atheist. Well, maybe he wasn't such a good atheist. Maybe deep in his heart he sort of knew. See, or maybe he said he was, but he really wasn't. Or maybe he had been, but then he began to see. He said God is. So he saw that. See, Einstein said something like that also. See, so when you begin to see all these wonders of science, of math, of physics, of the world, see, then you begin to know, and you know it in God's light. It's like He's showing you. See, it's like He's a good Father, and He's showing you. Look at what I did. See, and here's how I did it. If you're very lucky, you begin to see, like Einstein was given a little bit of understanding about how things happen. See, so it's all from Him. But that's part of the relationship with Him. You see, a real relationship. Well, I wanted to talk about being born again. So by now I don't need to say a lot about it, do I? We have a fallen nature that's not so good. Okay, that's all you know. But you have a hope. See, something inside, not everyone, but some of us sense there has to be something more. See, and the miracle of being reborn, to have a new nature, to be given a new nature, okay, which then grows over a long period of time within. A new nature within that grows. Okay? Where every trial and every tribulation is simply fodder to build the greater person. See, just like a little child, you watch little children grow, and as they struggle with this and they climb that and tumble over this and run there, and see all these things that they do, these challenges. See, it builds. That's how they grow. And every tumble, everything climbed over, everything tumbled over, they become stronger and stronger and stronger. See? Well, that's the new nature. That's what it means to be born again. You need a new nature. A new imperishable nature. See? And all of this was made possible by Christ. See, He was the first of this new race of humans, born of the Spirit. But somewhere it says something like, that which is born of the flesh is of the flesh. That which is born of the Spirit is of the Spirit. So yes, this new Spirit then is the real you, the you becoming, the you are becoming. See, we're always becoming. Whereas, so you're becoming more perfect, more graceful, more thoughtful, wiser. See? You're growing, you then grow in stature. Whereas most people diminish. They become more selfish, more resentful, more bitter, more greedy, more dumb, more whatever. See? That's what being born again means. And it's only from God, not from the hand of man. Okay? It's only from God. And it's like a miracle. It's a miracle, but it's a miracle like, see, when God makes a miracle, then it happens. So it's like, for example, the butterfly. How does this caterpillar go into a cocoon and a beautiful butterfly emerges? It's just astonishing. Well, something like that. So, you you're born, you grow up, see, with the help of T's. So you need T's for this lower nature. And you grow to full stature, hopefully as a halfway decent young man or young lady. And you learn a trade. Maybe you go to school, learn a trade, go to work, earn money, become self-reliant, get married, have kids, raise a family. See? And then after all of that, then comes the second half of life. Where the caterpillar then becomes the beautiful butterfly, you see. Okay? And that's what being born again means. My name is Roland.